Onward and upward. Time for a mug of tea, staying hydrated before my next peak race in Toledo, Ohio, a half marathon on Sunday. Start time, 6:30 a.m. Eastern time, just so you know. And yes, we're going to talk about how to build, how I and how you can think about building your confidence before arriving on the starting line. I'm also going to run you through some basic my basic approach, which is pretty common, but I'll spell it out on this piece of poster board as far as an annual peak racing calendar and how I set mine up, okay? But first, a couple quick points down below, always down below in the description, I know. So first of all, again, the group run, which is posted on Strava. The details are down below. Click on that link, and then you'll see the location and then the time for the group run after the half marathon. Now, if you are running the marathon, go down there, click on the link, and then comment below the event letting me know when you think you might be finishing your marathon. Listen, I'm gonna hang out. I've got all day. I'm not going anywhere. I don't fly back to Denver until Monday. I can't wait to meet you all, okay? So, but just let me know if you'd like to meet after your marathon. Okay, that was point number one. Point number two is that, I don't do too many podcasts, but when an Olympian calls and says, hey, I've got a podcast request, Carrie Tollefson, so she ran in the 2004 Olympics in Athens, Greece, okay, in the 1,500 meters. I hopped on her podcast. It is live now. Once again, it's linked down below in the description. Go give it a listen, go give it a listen, and I think you will enjoy the conversation. Oh, she's just great. She's up in, I believe, in the Minnesota area. We talk about the upcoming virtual race. We talk about Brave Like Gabe. We talk about running shoe technology, all sorts of stuff. So once again, link down below. All right, let's spell out the overall peak racing calendar, and then we'll talk about how I build a little bit of confidence. Speaking of peak races, I picked up this shirt for the New York City Marathon. It's got all 5 bridges that you cross over in the New York City Marathon. Feels like ages ago at this point, but there it is. Oh, who was there? Who was there? Upper right-hand corner for that vlog. That was a great, great day. Okay, here we go. And a little bit of an atypical vlog. I realize, it's a busy day getting ready for travel tomorrow. So sitting here explaining, hopefully this is bringing some value to you. All right, let's actually start on this side. I think the other side was the better side as far as my artistic abilities. But again, the annual calendar year, here's the circle. Here's the circle. I think I like the other side better. I'm just gonna flip it on over here. It makes more sense. So confidence, building confidence before a peak race, how I do it. 5 points real quick. Again, January 1st, the green dots are the peak races. And all right, let's just dive in. Number 1, rest. So coming down the roller coaster, if you know my training, my volume climbs, peaks, and then in volume, I mean how many miles a week I'm running or how many kilometers a week I'm running, peaks, and then comes down the roller coaster into the peak race. And that's called the taper, okay? But first of all, the reason I have confidence arriving at a starting line is because in the annual calendar year, I am building rest into the training program, okay? Rest allows my body to reset, make sure I'm not burning out, make sure I'm not, getting even close to OTS, overtraining syndrome, okay? So point number 1 for building confidence before a peak race is building that rest, all right? Which connects to point number 2 for building confidence, racing. I'm amazed when people are telling me that they race almost every weekend. I don't know how their bodies handle it. I cannot do that. And maybe they're just going out and having fun, and that's great. But to hit a race hard, where you're just all in, and you are digging, and you are in pain, you're going to that pain cave, racing is hard on your body. That's why this annual calendar year that I'm in right now has 3 peak races. Now, I still race more than that, but they're tune-up races. They're not a peak race, okay? So you can have more than 3 races a year. In fact, you should have more than 3 races a year. And yes, I think you could have 4 peak races a year. 5 is starting to get a little borderline for my liking, unless, of course, again, you're doing shorter distances. I would say definitely 5K and below, and then 10K and below. Anything above that, I'd get a little hesitant, okay? So racing, how do I build confidence? The fact that I'm not over racing. All right, I probably should have written over racing there. Number 3, tapering. That's a simple one. I talk about upper right-hand corner. I've made many vlogs about tapering, and the taper, that's what I'm doing right now. And I did 2 miles today at 8 minutes a mile. It was amazing. Just like, and I'm gonna wake up tomorrow, and I know 2 days before the race, and I know I'm just gonna be like, what do I do with all this energy? Probably feel it right now on the camera. I just got a lot of energy right now. So point number 3 for building confidence before a peak race is tapering. Number 4, hunger. What do I mean by hunger? Hunger. I get hungry to race. I love competition. And if it's only arriving in my annual calendar year of training and racing 3 times, when I arrive at these starting lines, 1, 2, 3. Now this year was a little different because of the pandemic. You know, I did the one in January. I wouldn't typically do that, okay? I didn't even put it on here because I didn't want to confuse you. Usually it would be just 3. But when I arrive on that starting line, like last August when I won Pikes Peak, I was, you wouldn't believe how hungry I was. I was hungry for that W, and we got it done, okay? So that's point number 4 for building confidence. Don't over race, and you build that inner fire that just unleashes on the starting line. I would rather race a little less and get a few more W's rather than race more and be tired or burned out on the starting lines. Does that make sense? Okay, and last but not least, point number 5, which of course for me happens on Strava, but you might have a training calendar, you might have an Excel spreadsheet. This is a very practical tip, and I love doing this. I'll actually do this probably on the plane ride today when you're watching this to Toledo, where I will pull out Strava, and you can pull out your training log, you can pull out your Excel spreadsheet, however you track your training, and I just reflect, and I look, and I absorb mentally all the work that I've done over the past, in this case, 90 days leading into Toledo. And you forget 20 days, 28 days, 36 days, 47 days. What were you doing on those days in the previous training block? That's why I've actually really enjoyed numbering my runs this past training block. I've numbered every single one. I think this is day 88, I do believe. But if I go back to, what was I doing on day 63? Actually, let's go look right now. I have no idea. But on the plane ride to Toledo, I will flip and I'll just reflect and be like, oh my goodness, I did a 23-mile long run at 6:25 a mile. That was a great day. Oh, I went and snagged some altitude, got some red blood cells flowing. So anyway, that's the 5th and final step I use for building my confidence before a peak race. And I'm excited. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Comment of the day. Actually, first I'm going to ask the question of the day just because we're talking about confidence. What's your strategy? How do you build confidence before your peak races? What do you do mentally? What do you do physically? All right, there you go. Oh, it's going to be good. Down in the comments. Comment of the day goes to Jason. Thank you, Jason, for being a member. Did you notice, everybody, the new badges? I hope you did. Jason, over 2 decades ago, I began dating this really cool, shy, down-to-earth girl. The only problem, she had never been tent camping. I warned her that she would be going on some amazing camping trips if we wanted to continue seeing each other. She must have really been into me because later that year, she hit me with a surprise trip to a large North Face store here locally and bought me the baddest, most bomb-proof 4-season tent they had. I wanted to be sure her first trip was a good experience, so I packed the kitchen sink and we headed up to Turquoise Lake, our first trip together. Now, over 20 years later, married with 2 kids, she loves camping, backpacking, and all things outdoor. Thanks for the fun QD and the trip down memory lane. That's what I'm talking about, Jason. That is a great story, so thanks for sharing. Thanks for being here, everybody. Build confidence before peak races. I hope that helps. Hopefully it just helps the ebb and flow, the roller coaster of my training. All right, everyone, we will toss it to a tapering vlog. All right, since we're in the taper, toss it to a tapering vlog. Right there, right there, right there. All right, everyone, seek beauty, work hard, and love each other. See you tomorrow.